I believe the biggest thing we can do, I'm a big believer in action.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
So having more energy and performing is a topic that to all our listeners, they are everybody that is in business, that is an entrepreneur, they all want more energy. And this is what I'm doing, Rhoda. It's working for me fantastic, which is the following. When I'm working, when I need to be on point, I eat healthy, and sometimes I don't even eat. I fast. Yeah, and I train my body like this, and I'm okay with it. It's not like I'm hungry. Today, for example, is my podcast days. I have several interviews today, and I'm just drinking green tea, and I'm okay with it. Or if I'm eating, if I need to eat something, it's healthy. And then when I'm resting, when I'm not working, when hold on, when I go to play tennis and dance or whatever, also eat healthy, because the body is I'm doing exercise, so I take care. So the only days that I don't that I just relax is social commitments, right? A lot of people, when they invite me to dinner, when it's the birthday of someone, when it's Sunday and I'm gonna watch a movie, then I treat myself, right? But at the end of the day, this day I'm not working. That day I'm just resting, switching off, and why not gratify yourself with the burger or a meal that you don't usually take. And let me tell you something, I'm enjoying more the healthy food, and I'm enjoying more the the bad food one day that even if you have it every day, to the point that my body cannot take more than one day the thing anyway, because it's it may have as a reflex and things like this. So the secret is to train your body, Ross, like you described, in a realistic way. And I'm glad that then your social media, you show yourself eating pizza, and because this is how reality looks like, right? Because if you, a lot of people have this effect yo-yo. They go up and down, up and down, up and down.
That's right.
And it's because, they stress the body so much without eating certain things, and then when they give up, they come back, and it come back really quickly. The other question, Rose, I want to ask you, a lot of entrepreneurs in this podcast, they have shared the story that how they started the business was kind of by accident. They start to solve a problem for themselves, and they have a massive breakthrough, and then they go out there and solve the problem for other people. This is how I started my first business. I solved the problem for myself when I was in London, my property business. The rent was too expensive. I was looking for ways to don't pay the rent, so I rent the house, and I rent it by units. And there I was. My rent was off, and I said, "Wow, that's amazing! If I can keep doing this, then I can build the business and also solve the problem for other people and give them a great accommodation." So how was this transition from you when you had the breakthrough from yourself, that even you moved from corporate to being an entrepreneur? And a lot of people listening to this broadcast is exactly in this, in thinking or trying to do this transition, because they are exactly as you described, cash rich and time poor, and they want to move to entrepreneurial life. So tell us, what is the good, the bad, and the ugly of moving from corporate to the entrepreneurial lifestyle, and also about your transition between how you solve the problem for yourself, and then you decide also to solve it for other people.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting with that. I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. Ed Milet, who I think is awesome, he talks about how you're most equipped to help the person you used to be. And so when I transformed my body, I was helping the person that wanted to be fit and get shredded. As I've evolved and gotten older, I work with different ages, but mostly with men and women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, that are moms, that are dads, that are either business owners or executives. and they know they need to be fit and healthy, but they need to do it in a way that is sustainable and fits into their lifestyle. And they really want to have it all in life. So I do believe that, and especially with the internet, the information or the coaching business, I spent an entire year creating Body Transformation University, which is my online platform, in 2018. And it took a whole year to create it. And then I started my coaching program. But if I'm mentoring someone now, online platforms are cool, but I would go straight into coaching. Literally, you can find 3 people. I have a client, Valerie, and she has lymphedema, which makes it, her weight can fluctuate 50 pounds within a couple of hours. Crazy. And she's got all kinds of health issues. She's done amazing, completely changed. I mean, she was stuck in her house. Now she's walking in the neighborhood. She's driving, which may seem like basic things, but this is life-changing for her. And so I'm mentoring her now on starting and she said this is the first thing working with me that's ever worked for her. She's been in all these different groups. And so now she can go help women who used to be in the situation she was in a few years ago and create a business around that. So I 100% think that's a great thing to help people that are like you or how you used to be. In terms of the transition, I did it. I think, I don't know, there's pros and cons, risks to everything, but again, for me, it was like I was willing to take the risk instead of wondering what if. But I did do it at a younger age. It's different. If I was working for a company now with 3 kids in private school and responsibilities and high bills, it would be a lot harder to make the transition full time. Now, I was 28, I had some money saved up. My living expenses were nothing. So, it was a risk, but it was the right time to do it, which is why I believe if you're young in your early 20s, man, even late 20s or teen, that's the time to go for it. You can always go back and get a corporate job if you don't like it or it doesn't work out. If you are older and you want to make the transition, you can burn the boats and burn the bridges and just go for it. But I mean, if you have kids and financial responsibility, you don't have to make a clean jump. You can keep your full-time job. And if you do that, I believe you still give your company your absolute best. And then you spend an hour either in the morning or every single night working on your side hustle and growing it. And an hour may not sound, you can spend more than that, but an hour a day. One of the things I talk about in my coaching business is consistency is more important than frequency or volume. So if you're consistently working on building your business every day for an hour, then you can build that up. And then, this is just, I don't know, I think I heard this from Jim Rohn, but once you get to where your side business is making as much as your job, you could quit your job at that point. He says, don't quit it. He says to wait until you're doubling what you're making on your job and then to quit it. But, anybody can do it, whether you go for it clean break or whether you do it gradually. We have so much time. It's the biggest excuse. We have time for what is important to us. The average American watches, I think it's like 4 or 5 hours of TV a day. I heard that. Sounds like, I can't believe that. But I do believe people, if they're not watching TV, they're scrolling that much on social media. So we have time for what's important to us.
Yeah, and the impact on your health. Remember, everyone that listening to the podcast, what's the point to have a lot of millions if you are not healthy, if you cannot enjoy it? That
100%.
What's the point? Or if you have bad relationship with your family, your friends, your children, what's the point? So at the end of the day, and it's shocking, Ross, the other day, a friend of mine, she's a nurse, was making a comment that when people get overweight like that, even the nurse, the people don't want to do the job because it's not easy to handle it. The people are heavy, so now you need a crane. And if they pay you the same money to go and look after a patient that is not overweight, that is normal, and to look after an overweight patient, right? Who do you think everybody the nurses they're gonna choose? They're choosing someone that they can easily handle it. Whether somebody that is overweight, there you need a crane. It's more work, and it's not like they're gonna pay more the nurse for deal with that. So somehow this kind of disorder, right? It having also huge impact because these people, little by little, somehow they're being left over, right? It's not gonna be, oh, it doesn't sound to me that they're gonna say, okay, guys, because it's more difficult to treat this patient because it's overweight, we're gonna pay more to the nurse, we're gonna pay more to the doctor, they're gonna pay the same to all of them. So this is an extra. I was not aware of this issue. It just came to my attention 2-3 days ago in a conversation with a friend. And also, when you go and buy the food, right? If you go to any supermarket, you see 85% of the food displayed there, or 80%, exactly 80-20 that you described very well, is food that is not good for you, right? And when sometimes when I buy in the supermarket my food, I'm having a lot of how you call it, celery juice to detox my liver, to remove fat around the liver, so the body detox. So imagine if you had to do celery juice, you need a lot of celeries, right? And then when I'll buy the food in the supermarket, the people are looking at me so strange because all you see is vegetables and green and this and that, and it looks out of the ordinary until I got the feeling that everybody's looking at me and saying like, this guy's crazy. Why is he eating this thing? Celery, who wants that? And why so many? So I think that in United Kingdom, London, we have made some progress with this, not too much, but I think so, right? That, for example, a bottle of Coca-Cola, normal one, and is in the supermarket is now, let's say, 250. Where those on the Coca-Cola doesn't have sugar is considerably cheaper. So clearly the government are putting heavy tax the same way that they did to cigarettes. Sure, and they see the price and you say, what's the point to spend more? Let me take this one that it doesn't have sugar. So what do you think? What is the last message? What do you think that we can go, that we can do as a community? Because I think that this issue on health, despite that you make your life mission to help as more people as possible, what do you think that can be done in the support of the government, the education? There is another problem as well with the organic food and the healthy food that sometimes is misleading and most of the time is expensive. You have to know to look properly what you're doing in order to buy something good. So how do you think that we can that done in order to raise more awareness about this topic in general?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think there is more awareness now, and I think there's some good things going on in identifying like a bunch of this, chemicals and crap that's in our food that shouldn't be there, that's not in other countries, right? I mean, you look at, so in the US, you got Lucky Charms, and then you have Lucky Charms in the UK. Your Lucky Charms ingredients is this much, not a health food, get me wrong, but our Lucky Charms ingredients is twice as much. Like, why is that? That's definitely a problem.
Noticed, yeah.
I still will die on the sword that exercise. I saw this the other day on a talk from a doctor. I thought it was awesome. Exercise is better for you than anything bad for you. So many people are focused on, don't eat this, don't eat a seed oil. You're going to die if you have a, Diet Coke or sugar-free gum. Again, I'm not saying that stuff is good for you, but focus on the basics. Like consistent exercise is really, really good for you. And then controlling the amount of food. The biggest problem is obesity. We have too much fat. That increases your risk of heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, all that stuff. So, controlling your calories, controlling your weight, and exercising is the most important thing. But I do think that, getting some of this crap out of our food that doesn't need to be there is a big deal. But also whether it's there or not, taking personal responsibility. I saw something online the other day. See, I'm watching too much social media. And, this girl was talking about how, crumble cookie is evil and it's killing, Americans. Like, I mean, they're big, giant cookies and, they don't have great stuff in them. But what about, if somebody eats 20 Oreos, right? Why is it killing everybody? So people like to go after like the big, giants. And at the same time, nobody's forcing a crumble cookie down your throat. Like, we need to make grown-up choices, for ourselves. But if, I believe the biggest thing we can do, I'm a big believer in action versus words. There's a lot of people talking, but you
and lead by example.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs, that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.